Welcome to A Day in the Life of Goo. Mr. Guggenheim is 19, so the beginning part of his morning is usually just spent trying to wake up, and I feel for him. I also like sleeping in. The funny thing is, when I adopted him, I thought a dog will help me get up in the morning, but we both love sleeping in, so unfortunately we don't help each other very much. But some TLC usually does the trick, and then I pick him up and we begin our day. Being 19 is pretty hard, which is basically 100 in human years, so we do kick off with just letting Googie stretch his legs and get acclimated to being awake before we head out and go do our morning potty routine. Googie used to go potty like clockwork, but now that he's gotten pretty old, it does take him some time, so I'm gonna speed up through this until he eventually finds the perfect spot to pee. Being blind is not the most helpful, and it does make this process a touch harder. And then we enjoy a little walk, and he is off leash. The reason he's off leash is he's 19, he has a semi-collapsed trachea, and I don't like putting pressure on his neck. I don't recommend doing this unless your dog has perfect recall, but Googie doesn't care about other people, dogs, or anything, and I literally stand over him while we're outside. So he is off leash just for his comfort, and he still seems pretty tired, so I'm actually gonna pick him up and take him with me to get my morning coffee before we get started on his meds. Googie is on heart meds, meds for his Cushing's, hydrocodone for his cough, and Entice to help him with his appetite. And with no teeth and part of his lower jaw missing, it can be very hard to get meds in him that stay in him, so I usually wait for him to yawn by rubbing his cheek, and then we play a game until I get a good angle to put this in him. I try not to restrain him because he is a dachshund mix and they are prone to IBDD. And then it's time to see what Googie will eat this morning. He has been very picky, and his go-to lately is cat food, so I'm putting his heart med as a pill in there to see if he'll eat it today, and it can take him a little bit to decide whether or not he's interested, so I play the waiting game and eventually he digs in. Some days I make him one thing and some days I make him 15. It really just depends, and then you'll see me stirring his pill around to make sure he gets it, but he didn't end up eating it, so we are doing the pill as a liquid instead, which he hates. But he was a brave boy and he did it, and with a full belly we begin the next part of our morning routine, which I call the rubbies. He has done this ever since I adopted him, and it's just a sign that Googie is really happy. He loves to rub into things that he likes a lot, like his bed or me, and then I put out some extra food in case he's interested and pick him up to enjoy the bed while I tackle some things I need to do. This little digging thing he does is another sign of happiness, but he gives up and decides on a nap. I love his smushed snoot, and he continues to sleep while I get ready. He's just gonna rotate into a lot of different positions. He's so precious. Today I'm unpacking some things I shipped from home, one of which is a swag lamp. My mom collected swag lamps, so Googie is being my supervisor while I tackle this job. But of course I get distracted and I have to give my baby some love instead. And my kisses immediately trigger Googie's other thing he does, which is his happy dances. He's also done this ever since I adopted him. It is probably my favorite thing. He just gets on his back and wiggles like there's no tomorrow, and it's so cute, and I can't believe he's still doing it at 19. He'll cough a little bit while he's doing it. He can't help it because of the collapsed trachea and getting so excited, but look at him, look at his little tongue. I can't get over how cute he is. His favorite part during the wiggles is for me to kind of touch him or his feet, and it's like a little game we play, and he gets even more excited when I do that. Look at him go. Then I continue my unboxing while Googie has a little wiggle fest. Fortunately, the lamp came in one piece. I'm so relieved. And then it's time to film some content. Googie went with me the other day to pick up some P.O. box packages, and we did that together. So here he is being my little assistant before we go out for another potty break. It's a poo, so we're gonna cover that for his decency. And then he gets these little back scratches that he just absolutely loves. And then today we went to go do dinner with a friend. He gets in his car seat. He's the cutest passenger prince, and then he gets to be toted around in his little bag, which he loves. We had a great time, and then we came back for Googie's meds and his dinner. Some lovely beans sent these meaty sticks, which are for cats, but I tried giving them to Googie today and he loved it, so here's Googie eating meaty cat treat sticks for dinner. I did try to give him his wet food and beef, but he said no thank you. And then we do his cough meds, which I thought I did well, and then looked up at the ceiling. In horror, we did that again, and then it was time to wind down for the night. Googie loves a head rub and massage, so I of course happily oblige. And Googie's day ends with some cuddles TLC, and lots of love before we end up heading off to bed. So this was a day in the life of my sweet 19-year-old baby boy, Mr. Guggenheim, and I hope you enjoyed, because it looks like my mini man is ready for bed.